What up? What up? Bankroll Tim. Bet it up. All right, y'all. In here, busting ass on this frame. Trying to get it all welded up. This is how much I've been working on it. Look at my leg. My dumb ass. I'm doing all this welding. Got my legs burnt out. Got my arms burnt out. I know, I got sleeves to put on, but as for pants, I don't wear pants. I wear shorts all year. But anyways, so the front notch, obviously it's been done, boom. Got this one last brace over here that's coming off because that side was never on there, whatever headers were on before, didn't clear. But anyways, that brace come off, boom. The whole front's ready, except for these holes right here. They're jacked up. This one's not bad, but this one and those two over there. So I got the circles right there. I gotta trim the corner just a little bit of the circle to fit there. I'm gonna weld those in, boom. All this is braced up and welded up, except for the holes. Like I said, I'm still gonna weld all the holes in, but I gotta get this thing flipped over. So I got all the top stuff in, all the top stuff welded. All the bars are in there, boom. Got it all tied together. Got the cross brace and all that in there. And tube on the inside, totally welded into the frame, totally welded into the corner. These angles, and then right underneath there, boom. Because this one's got the undermounting anti-roll, so that I plated the bottom, and with that tube being in there, now it's super strong in that area, so it won't flex. I got the plates on the back of there, which is 3/16, both sides. So you can see that. But now the bottom stuff's welded. Like I said, I have to C-notch a little bit right here. So this overlaps anyways, but I want it to be flat. So I'm gonna come up into this area, elongate it, because the backing plate sticks out farther than the rotor. Like I said, the rotor's gonna be 5/8 of an inch off this frame because it has to be so narrow. Like I said, the rear end is 48 inches, axle flange to axle flange. And that wheel being so wide with the 2.5 inch backspace. So that's why everything had to be so thin. I mean, now you can see it's not as thin. But back here is strong now, but there's not a lot back here that is any stress and stuff like that. You know, it's bolted to the car. Yeah, it lost these mounts, but as long as everything's strong, it's strong. But all the torque area, you know, the uppers pull, so that's all tied together. The lowers push, that's all tied together. Under, you know, horsepower and stuff like that. It's not a race car. So the trans cross, remember, when they do whatever they do, it's still gonna bolt across there, which ties that together. These are tied together. This is all tied together. So it really doesn't need the other ones in there, which, you know, it's fine, like this. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the white LS box Chevy. 28-inch billets, 10-inch lips, 28 by 12, 13 overall. That's what's going on there. That's what's going on with the frame. Today is Wednesday. Trying to get this thing buttoned up. Like I said, those 4 pieces right there welded on, and it's ready to flip over. So me and my son will flip it over, and I'll start fabbing this back stuff. I want to fab it, get everything underneath, all these tubes underneath. Some of them are welded, but some of them ain't. So I got to get in there and weld the shit out of it. But yeah, so now we have Skylark. So the Skylark, like I said, we were changing the front brakes. My son set up this side right here, and this is a big brake. Excuse me. Anybody that's seen the shorts on it. So when it comes to these cars and the brakes, how the rotor and the the calipers to the back, I've seen so many people do it over and over and over, and they keep putting the caliper in the front, So I'm like, well, what the hell? Well, the difference is with this kit is that it's rear steer or front steer, which is that steering arm. So see, this kit would work on a Camaro too, and Camaro's a rear steer. So when I see these cars with the caliper up here, it just makes no sense to me of why you would put it up front. It's such a tighter area, taking chances of hitting the control arms. And again, it's UMI upper, UMI lower, UMI sway bar. I don't like UMI, it doesn't work. I mean, look how flat that arm is. There's no curve to it. I don't like that. To me, it's garbage, sorry. But yeah, so the paperwork, if you read the fine notes, it says that it can be put on either side because of how it bolts and everything. So obviously, if you're using on the left side, the plate, boom, of what it says, then vice versa, that plate would go on the other side. So if the caliper's on the front, you would use the left stuff. You know, if the caliper's on the back, you would use the right, vice versa. But it's in the notes for this kit. Obviously, this paperwork comes with the brake kits. With the brake kits. So here's a big brake kit number right here with red calipers. And see how it says 67 to 69 Camaro, 67 to 74 Nova, you know, drum brakes, disc brakes, blah, blah. 64, so 66 Chevy 2, 67, 72 Chevelle, obviously is A-body, Chevelle, Buick, Skylark, all that Oldsmobile stuff. So anyway, it's all on there. I love how they started doing this. They got the set screws in them and three. Boom. That's awesome, and it's a one-piece hat setup instead of having to bolt it together. Now it's all together, so that's a plus. The way everything goes on, you know, you got some shimming. As you can see right there, the shimming right here, it called for 3, but then we ended up putting the 3 on there and we couldn't get the caliper to slide on because this was saying it was too far that way, so we took one out. But anyways, every car is different. So right now, this is just mock-up. That's a lug nut on there because we didn't want to put the jam nut on there already for just mock-up. We'll take it back apart, Loctite, what we need to Loctite, stuff like that. But it's on there, it turns. We have one shim underneath here between this, between the caliper and this bracket here, and this bracket bolts to the other bracket, and that bracket's the one that bolts to the spindle that goes through the steering arm here, and the black backing plate bolt up there, which is a bevel head and a key for. And that's what we got. Boom. The spacer goes on the top, and this one replaces the bottom. You got your trims. You got your other. No, that might not be for this. Tags, obviously. Like I said, this is a jam nut, so as you start turning it, it starts locking. All the work that I do is very messy. So I was cutting the back pieces off that plate right there for the back of that frame over there. And having to cut here and throwing all the, you see the dirt on here, all the metal shavings. It's a nasty job that I do. So yeah, this side, my son can take it back apart, tight everything, put it back together, all that, boom. This side is just still taking it apart. Like I said, see how this is set up. That to there, same exact location. But when I see people put the caliper up here on the front of an A-body, it just looks like shit. And I couldn't figure out why, and now this is basically the first one with the big brakes that I've done, and now I see why. Now I read the notes, all that, figured it all out. Again, with the location of this, QA1's lower control arm, ball joint location would be probably about 1 inch or so farther forward. The upper would be a little bit back. The upper actually curves to fit the frame on QA1. That's why QA1 is top of the line. So you guys out there building these cars and want to do it right, QA1 is the way to go. And then QA1, like I keep saying, they offer the sway bar that is for big rims, so you don't have to deal with this. Now your wheel turning and hitting this, it's grinding, your sway bar, and it's grinding the back of your wheel, so you're tearing it all up. So you want this to stop. QA1 arms have the adjustment bolt back here for a turning stop. So that way you can adjust it out, put a spacer on it or whatever, you can get it to stop sooner. So if you are touching that, but QA1 obviously has the narrowed sway bar that sits under more, and they got the brackets and all that. So this doesn't do this. So you don't have to worry about that shit anymore. Again, I do not like that. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Never have, never will. I mean, look, the upper control arm right now is just laying on the frame. There's no curve to it. It's just a flat arm, you know? Yeah, this car is 24s. Rucci, big cats. I guess he gets you that coochie. Yeah, I don't know. I ain't never owned no Ruccis. But yeah, so Skylark, boom. There's a couple more things coming, of course. Doing the super drop boxes. Changing the lower control arms. Again, these lower control arms are non-adjustable, as you can see. I do like the tie bars. Any of you guys with A bodies, tie bars. So instead of having that frame brace all set up underneath the car, stuff like that, them tie bars right there that tie that lower to that upper are excellent. They've been around for a long time. Hotchkiss, however you say it. I think they were the first ones back in the day that had those. Very good. Ties it all together. Like I said, the bottoms push up, the tops pull, but that keeps everything triangulated, tied together. Good thing for A bodies, instead of having to buy that frame brace kit. And I think that frame brace kit is like $800-900, and then you got to pay somebody to put it in. So those right there, if you're mechanically inclined, bam, you can just bolt them in yourself. You know, it comes with the hardware of the longer bolt because the way it sticks out the back, and you can see how that sticks out. So it comes with all the longer bolts. Anytime you buy control arms, you want double adjustable. Double adjustable. These are non-adjustable lower control arms. The sway bar bolt up, I don't care about that. I do anti-rolls. But yes, all this shit's still getting cut off. And the super drop box will be on there. Then that, narrowing to 2 inches. We have the Moser axles right here. So it was a bolt-in axle rear end to begin with, which whatever. Now I changed it. I had him get a 9-inch brake kit. So this is a 9-inch end with the big bearing, big axle, and it's still 28 spline because it's got a brand new 28 spline center, which is right there. Yeah, so the axles I just got the axles today. We're gonna use the springs that he had on there, but we're putting Viking. So those are QA1 springs. We're putting Viking shocks in it, doing a cross brace up in the top. So I gotta cut that area, put the cross brace up in there. I'm gonna use the 1.5 inch tube I do have on the ground over there. Gives a little more room up there because of the angle you have to be with coilovers on. A bodies, it's a very, very tight fit. So that's what's going on. As you can see, tons of metal cutting and filing and all that to do these setups. Yeah, that kind of gets us caught up. The exhaust on here, like I was saying, with the undermount anti-roll is going on here because these cars are best with them undermount anti-roll because there ain't shit for room up here. Once all this is tucked up in there, it's very hard to do it without the anti-roll hitting the cover or hitting the top of the rear end. So undermount anti-roll, like I was saying before, these brackets got to come off, which these are for the hangers of this. And I'm gonna have to make something, and then they're gonna have to change that to put the tails back on it. But yeah, uppers are double adjustable. This one was unjammed, which it's an easy mistake, you know, to jam them, you know, to forget it. That's why you gotta do a checklist. Do a checklist. Have your piece of paper right there, notebook, whatever, and write the shit down. Be like, double check this, double check that, you know, have another person go over it too, whatever. shit happens. Bolts could get left loose. That got left loose. Could have vibrated loose, but that means it just wasn't as tight as it could be. The owner did ask about these bushings. These bushings are whack, so I gotta get these out. I do have a brand new set of high energy or energy, whatever the hell they are, the gold ones. So I'll get those out. Cause yeah, they're dry rotted and shit. Like that's, look at that, just flaking off. So that's a lot of movement right there. Anytime you're taking the rear end apart, the left cap, the right cap, those are machine fitted for this rear end, that you can't change them from rear end to rear end. You can't change from side to side. You can't flip them over, shit like that. They have to stay the way that they came off. So you would take a piece of cardboard, set it down, table, wherever. You take the left one off, you set it down. Take the right one off, set it down, mark them on the paper, whatever, to be able to do it right. People's rear ends be going out and stuff like that when people don't know how to install the shit. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna get cracking on this. The back area right there is not done. I don't know how far I'm actually gonna go with it. I might add a couple more little strips in there. But the way the bottom is, these cars, the bottom rolls under. So I'm probably just gonna plate the bottom, like how I plated the back side right there. I'll plate the bottom and then fill the sides in. But the whole bottom is still not attached. Let's see. So I gotta trim some of this shit off to make a nicer area. This diamond area right here, I'm gonna cut it off and put where I'm gonna put the 1 inch. I'm gonna take a 1 inch strap steel and go through here. But I'll put it on video, even if it's on the shore. Yeah, all right, y'all. BANKROLL 10 bedded up. And Skylark bedded up. Box Chevy. We outies. She drives straight. She ain't got full turn, but she got plenty of turn. everything but the car. Got an old sway bar setup on it. Video will probably be up later. I couldn't get that good footage right there. I messed up on the focus. It up. Check a couple more things out on the front end. You can tell it's a little stiff, but the shocks are only on 4 for compression on the coilovers. But them 32s. Bankroll 10, bedded up, little bank. Trying to figure it out. It needs the rest of the interior and all that shit in it. It needs the sounds in it to bring the acid down. Yep, this is the one that used to be blue. But it's empty inside. It's got just a driver's seat. So we're hearing a lot more stuff inside of it. But anyways, alright y'all, Bankroll 10. Bedded up. What up? What up? What up? Bankroll 10, bedded up. I know I've been real weak on these videos and I've been the same old shit. But anyways, stayed here a lot longer than I should have stayed here. But got the front end of this thing all put together. Of course, it's painted. Got the control arms and everything on there. Getting the sway bar ready to be set up on there. But as for height and stuff like that, I can't set that yet until I get the back done to where I can set the car on all 4s. But it does have these billets on there, 24s. And for anybody else wanting to know, wheel didn't want to turn. 255/25 tire. So that is a smaller tire. And I think the rim is a by 9. So that keeps it, you know, I would have thought it was a 275, but 225. So the skinnier the rim, the skinnier the tire. Side to side, I don't mean this way. So many people out there call, oh, it's so skinny. It's small, not skinny. So you got the width sideways, bam. So anyways, all 4 rims, yeah, are by 9, so it's 10 overall. But like I was saying, with the brakes, he is actually ordering the wheel was with the color of that in which he wants. So that's gonna take a minute. And then when he gets all that stuff in, we'll bring it back in and we'll do the brakes. But didn't have to touch the brakes. The brake line, as you can see here, this rubber line, it's got a little bit of life left in it, but I'm just gonna leave this down here. The tire's not gonna hit it. But as you can see, my frame notches have a curve to them because of how I slit in the frame here. Boom, I make it look like it wasn't touched. Now there's people out there saying that, oh, you didn't get a frame notch. Oh, your shit's stock. If you think that's a stock frame, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do okay work, but you can't turn. 24s hit the frame, rub the frame. Boom. Plain and simple. 28s on box Chevys turn, hit the frame. Boom. Anyways, my point is just about this car. And I've been running myself ragged. Blah, blah. You can see right there. It's 10 inches overall. It's a by 9. Boom. So it's cleaner a lot more in the back, but still got to do the quarter rail notch back here. So getting ready to do that. I was cleaning up a couple brackets and stuff back here, cutting the spring perch off there. Boom. Got to grind this shit. Got to start grinding all this, clean it up with the drill, stuff like that. All the control arms, obviously the lower ones are out. Boom. Top ones are ready to come out. Gonna put the lower ones in there, leave the saran wrap wrapped around it, so that way when I paint the things I want to paint, it doesn't get overspray on the arms. Same thing over here, do a little frame notch, boom, roll the tubs in a little bit, boom. Coilovers, and that's where we'll be on. I'll have the underneath cleaned up and painted up. I'm out of paint right now, I'm out of a couple other things that I need. And I'll be back on it tomorrow 100%. So, Bankroll 10 bedded up, MCSS. And like I said, I do believe it's an 85 because you can look at the tail lights and see that it does have the composite tail light. It has the extension and all that. Boom. So I'm pretty sure it's 85 or lower. I don't know. So many people are like, oh, the year's wrong. Oh, this is wrong. All that. Well, figure it out. Let me know. Whatever. But there it is. Bankroll 10 bedded up. Quick little video. I'm gonna load it up right now, and you guys can see as I go. So here from the back, a back shot. Back shot. See, red grease. New components. Need grease. Lube. All right, y'all. Bet it up. I'm out. What up? What up? What up? Bankroll 10 bedded up. All right, y'all. As you can see, it's Malibu City. Malibu City. 26 is on the blue one. Obviously, everybody that knows. I did it a few years back, and we've been doing upgrades and this and that. One of them was a good upgrade because of the anti-roll setup, and it had broke the setup that I had on here before. There's a video of it, and it was that weld-on lower shit that I was doing. And if you didn't go back far enough, it ended up cracking the arm. So if you were up here, you break the arm, which caused the wheel to go forward, hit the body. Boom. I had trimmed a little bit more off, so both sides look kind of the same, which he's supposed to be getting that fixed. So anyways, like I said, I don't hide nothing. Shit happens. Different ways of doing things. Obviously back then, you can see I didn't clock the caliper. That's where the caliper goes. It's a weld-on style, but they do have a bolt-on style that takes a G-body front caliper, which this is a G-body style front. It just has the e-brake setup deal on here. You don't have to use the e-brake style ones. You could just take the front ones off of like a G-body, this car or whatever, and use them on the back with this bracket. And this bracket, you can either get it weld-on or bolt-on. With bolt-on, you would obviously drill the holes out at the backing plate bolts too, and you'd have to drill up here. They give you a template for it, so that way you can drill it out. It takes a lot of time. But anyways, I wasn't clocking ends back then, but Bedded Up Kustoms was the first ones to ever clock. And we call it clocking because obviously a clock, how, you know, a clock turns, clocking it, bringing the caliper down so that way you can clear the frame. Again, this one is not, this is a stock length housing G-body rear end. The rim right here has got what? Let's see, I better grab a tape measure so that I don't say wrong number. There's so much shit going on. All right, I got a tape measure. Let's see what we got here, y'all. All right, so that is saying a 4.5-inch lip, and that's from the outside of face. I know there's other people that go in there and then the outside barrel becomes a 5, 5.5, some shit. But you seen it on my tape measure. Here, let me get you a better look. Boom. Against there, let me pull this out a little bit more. Against there, and there. So, saying 4.5. Some people probably try to call it a 5. However it works. There you go. You guys saw it from me. 26s. And as you can see, my frame notch back then was a little different. Obviously, I figured it out and got it down way better. Like I was saying about the body on this one, the body was to the driver's side. And now I got the body back over to the passenger side. So it equaled out the distance. So now the 1/2-inch spacer will not be on this side, which was the all-star black aerospace component spacers, and then the studs went right in the hole. This car's got 7/16 studs on it. But yeah, my kid's trying to call me right now while I'm recording this video, so I'm not sure. Anyway, 26s, boom, 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 move the body over, boom. Gonna change the height of the coilovers in the back to, these are 12s, and I'm gonna move it down. I got them at 10.5, and that means between how it's compressed between here is at 10.5. So I'm gonna bring it down to 11.5, and then I'll take the bolt holes and move these up 1 or maybe even 2. We can tuck it just a little bit more, but we'll be able to soften it up a little bit more back here with the spring rate. This is a 250, I think. I'd hate to be bullshit. I know it's right here. Yeah, 12 DP 250 for you guys to see. So this is a 12. Now 12's on a car for 26s, yes. And then if you want to talk, you know, you still got plenty of holes to move down, everything, where the cross brace is put, boom. So 12s, but 10s are better, 24s, stuff like that, 10s, stuff like that. I got a new shock setup that I've been using, like I put on that green and copper Regal I just did a couple weeks ago. So I'm gonna keep that number to myself on what I used on it. I might have said it on a video already, but that's that. Yeah, so I changed the gear, took the 373 out, put a 456 in. Again, it's a small block Chevy car. It's supposed to have, you know, X amount of horsepower, and it's not putting it down. It's not spinning the tires. It's got a 700R Ford Trans in it. It's got 2800 stall. So the mechanic, our motor builder, was saying to put a bigger gear. You're losing power because of the height of the tires, the heaviness of the tires. So it's got overdrive, the 456. I mean, he's probably going to come up, you know, on RPMs in overdrive. How much he's actually going to be on the highway, I don't know, but he's still got an overdrive, so it shouldn't be that bad. 26s, rule of thumb, 32 inches. Gear ratio is based on 30 inches. So with having a 373 in it, which was what was in it, it had a little bit of wearing to it. Damn it, where did we're up to it? I think it's back on the bench. But anyways, based on 30 inches. So that being 32, a 373 would act like a 323 gear. So it act like more of a highway gear than a taller gear, more streetable, you know. So if I can get to the point, give me a second. So being 32 inches, it less gear ratio. So 30 inches, it would have been dead on 373. Now, if anybody out there knows more about that than I do, that's what I learned a few years back. And maybe that's wrong, I don't know, but I thought gear ratio was based on 30 inches. Maybe it's based on less. So now if it's based on less, and this is 32, then this would be coming out to like a 308 gear with a 373 in it. So now we got the 456 in it, and the 456 with that should bring us to a 411, you know, something like that, 390, something like that. So the starter, I still haven't changed. I'm gonna change the starter. That little video that I put up, little shorts. Let me turn on my headlamp here, bam. And like I wasn't bullshitting at all. If I take my hand up here, remember I had my hand up here before, and you can see the nut is already hanging off. So see, oh, the wires are just hanging there. So somebody most likely put it up there, the starter, which this is an LT1 starter. Put it up there, set it, probably finger tightened it, and walked away, and went to go do something else. Looks like they dropped the starter too, because that little metal post right there, and it's trying to focus on the hand. But anyways, it's bent. It's not a shadow or nothing, it's bent. Somebody dropped the starter. But I started chewing up the flywheel, and since it's been here, I pushed it around. It's only been here, you know, a week or two. TCI converter, boom, good converters, like I said, I like those. I always use them. But yeah, did it a few years ago, boom. And my old style frame notching, which, I mean, yeah, I do 100% better than that, but that's still better than 3/4 of the shit out there, because the shit out there is fucked up. No rub marks at all, full turn. And, you know, it might be a little bit farther back than I should be going, but no flex to the car. But yeah, Malibu, Malibu, Malibu. All right, so this one again, this is actually a 78 with 79 taillights in it. So I was correct, it's a 78 with 79 taillights. This one is a 78 all day. You can see the angle on the side, car's all original. We started taping off the tubs, me and Jordan, basically, he was doing it, using the air saw, stuff like that, figuring it out. We're gonna cut, we're gonna do tubs. 36-inch competition engineering tubs, boom. The frame rail is done, I did complete it, I just didn't get video of it done. Well, let's see, can we see up in there? Let's see if I put my light over there. Oh, well, it's shiny, right? So, the notch is done. The frame bracing's all in there. And yeah, so. Somebody was saying about the car being so rusty and the floors being rusty and all this and that, blah, blah. All that shit is gonna be getting fixed. The car itself though, the patina, the car is solid. It's a true Landau car. The doors are solid, the fenders are solid, the quarters are solid. It's got a couple dents and shit in it. Hey, it's a 78. It's pretty old, and it's still this clean. Floor pans, who knows, maybe wherever it was sitting. This car came from Texas. Wherever it was sitting, maybe the windows were open and water got inside of it. Or, I don't know, maybe it was sitting in grass. Sometimes you see cars, I bought a 77 two-door Chevy back in, 2009. It was a two-tone one out of Indiana somewhere, out in the sticks, and it was buried like in the ground, and we just assumed the underneath was completely rotted. We got it up on the trailer, and it was very, very, very clean and very solid underneath. And the lady that owned the tow company said that it's been sitting there for years and it didn't run. We actually poured gas in it, put a carburetor, I put a new battery in it and fired it right up. And she's like, well, that's gonna be more money. And I was like, no, that's not gonna be more money. Or I'm gonna have to charge you a mechanics fee for fixing it. She's like, I'm just joking. So anyways. It was very solid underneath. So what I'm saying is cars could sit in a gravel lot and end up rusty underneath because of the moisture, depending on the area and shit like that. It could sit in a field, be all the way down to the ground in the dirt and end up being solid, or vice versa. So don't ever think just because it's got holes that in the floor that the car is a bad car. And you know, they make tons of pieces for G-bodies nowadays. The floor pans, all this and that, separate pieces, full pieces, whatever. And then that upper back piece, back there, that trunk pan piece in the front, they don't make. And that back seat pan, I believe it is, they don't make, I think. But if anybody knows different, please let me know. And as you guys can see from sitting right here, it looks like something happened right there, unless it's a shadow effect. Something is looking goofy. Maybe it's, oh no, that is the same on the other side. It's just the light. So yeah, this Malibu up here, the other week I went and got some tubing, and that's 1 5/8 tubing, and I needed more of the 1.5 tubing, so I went today and got a couple more pieces of 1.5. So now I have that to put in the side rails of this Malibu. How it goes up in the side here. So I gotta flex the frame down, channel locks or crescent wrench. You see how somebody jacked it up here or some shit. But be able to get right in there with this down, put the two, yeah, see that one's bent up pretty good. Pull it down, get it fit in there, weld it up, plate this. We do have a aftermarket cross member. Where the hell the cross, oh, right here. I don't know what the name of that cross member is, but we do have that G-body cross member to go in it, and the ladder bar cross member right there. So I'm gonna put that in here, boom. Brace the sides, brace into the lower torque box, brace into the upper torque box, just like I was doing those other ones. I'm trying to get these cars the F out of here, and to get time on Don's other car, Oklahoma Colors. He's been very, 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 very patient, and his boys have been riding the shit out of him. And it's not funny, but it is funny. I gotta get the time because this is such a big job. And I know people that really follow me are like, okay, yeah, we understand that, but it's been a minute, this and that, get some work done to it. I just need to get the time to be able to put 2-3 days into this thing. I get 2-3 days into this thing, you know, I can have the whole front completely done, coilovers in it, brakes on it, brake lines ran, all that shit, control arms, all that. Trim the front fender and stuff like that, because you know it's a Cutlass 26s, so fender has to be trimmed. So yeah, my car, of course, just sitting there, boom, not touched. Ain't no way I could touch my car and not have other cars done. So Bankroll Tim, bedded up, Malibu City. The rear end is made for this one already. The coilovers are here for this one. The axles are here, the gear, the posi, everything's here for this one. Everything in the front, get buttoned back up and get adjusted up, boom. 24s, 8-inch lip, billets. Booyah, you can see the one in there, so I'm not bullshitting. Bam. Booyah, 8-inch lip. Look at that, with the cover on, they're still getting dirty. So yeah. All right, y'all, Bankroll 10 bedded up. My kid is driving my Trailblazer, he got his license. Proud dad moment. Got his license the other day, and he's been driving, and I'm able to get to places. In the last 2 days, we've done so much driving to take care of things and get the stuff that we need. So that way, boom, went and got this tubing. You know, I don't have to wait on somebody to give me a ride. You know, I just gotta wake my kid up and be like, come on, time to go. Or he wakes me up like today, he woke me up. Hey, come on, time to go. So we left the crib in the Trailblazer, boom, and still got the winter wheels on it, obviously, because my big ones are right there. I don't know if I'm gonna put them back on there. The front suspension is just not up to par with those on it. It's real touchy steering, so I gotta go over that if I do it. But anyways, the blue 78/79 Malibute. Getting some work, and I promise I will get some work and get some footage of the Oklahoma Cutlass. All right, y'all, I'm just gonna bore you. Someone's gonna be like, man, you ain't talking up. Yeah, you're talking real low again. My phone it's got plenty of, this is a new phone, you know, not even that old. It's got plenty of metal shavings in the mic already, and the speaker at the bottom of the phone. So, all right, y'all, that's what I got for you right now. I'm trying. Hopefully I'm giving out some more good information. That's what I try to do, and not talk too much about dumb shit. But all right, y'all, Bankroll 10 bedded up, and I'm outies. Peace. What up, what up, what up? Bankroll 10 bedded up. I'm gonna try not to whisper. I'm gonna try. So again, a little under the weather. But the Pro Charged Regal is almost back in full effect. Got the calipers on here. And one of the things that we were noticing before, and what the owner was noticing, is that after driving the car a little bit, you'd feel like the brakes were sticking. So it's got a Willwood master, it's got a Willwood proportioning valve adjustable under the hood. So we were trying to figure out that deal. I don't really mess with master cylinders and stuff like that. I end up having too many problems. There's different size bores and strokes and all that shit. So you gotta match the caliper up with this and that or whatever. The manual proportioning valve is basically just for the rear. And if you tighten it up too tight, it leaves pressure. I don't know. We're leading to that's the problem, but it does have a brass line all the way underneath the car, copper, brass, whatever you want to call it. And this frame rail was twisted up pretty good, and the line is right here, so maybe it smashed it. I looked in the area to see if it was smashed, and I couldn't see that it was smashed right there. So when I was putting the calipers on, I had to push the pistons back in. Well, this side pushed, and I got it on, got it re-shimmed. The hub-centric piece wasn't in there. I put the hub-centric piece in there. Some of the axles are stepped, so you don't need it, but these needed it, didn't have it. I had it set on the wall, put it in there. So I'll put this caliper on. It shimmed out right, but it pushed the pressure over into this caliper instead of pushing it back into the front. So I actually had to crack the line on this side to get the caliper to release pressure, because just by trying to get it to press the pressure back into the master, it wouldn't go. So there's obviously a problem there somewhere, but they're gonna have to deal with that because I don't deal with that stuff. But brakes and everything are on there. Could use a little cleanup. Reset the pinion, which if you look through here, I mean, it's on the lift, but pinion's reading basically a 0. When it goes on the ground, the uppers come a little bit shorter, which gives it a bit of a negative pinion, which is what you want. Drive shaft's in it. It's all cleaned up, all painted up. See how the hole in the frame is right there? So you can get right to the nut. And the bolt goes in from the side. It's at a setting that the car will hook. If we were to move the front one down a hole or two, we can make the car spin. If we move the back one up, you can make the car spin. Bring the back one down one, you make the car hook more. But there's a fine line with that too. If you go too far of an angle with this bar, like this, you'll cause wear, tire shake, not hop, tire shake. So anyways, wanted to get this video in before these marks got back here. I got stage fright. So yeah, we got some gear lube. I sent them to get some gear lube. So we got some Castro, or Fram, some Fram, what is it, 75140? Yeah, we'll put that in there. It does have a true track in there. Well, gear lube in it, brakes or wheels on it, and it'll be done. I squared up the rear end. Everything squares up good. The body is a little farther forward on this side than that side, whoever did the body work. But I squared everything up to the frame, which it wasn't that far off. It's just that under a load, it bent the torque boxes up, which pushed forward, which was throwing off the painting angle for Chris and them at Streetcar Headquarters when it was on the dyno and moving the car around and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if it's going back, but it definitely needs the brakes figured out. And I know since it's been here, we had adjusted the adjustable valve in the front, and now I don't know, we'll figure it out, or he'll figure it out or something. Tomorrow's supposed to be shitty, so I mean, test driving it ain't really a point in test driving it. Everything is still set basically the same. The shocks are all set the same, the height is set the same. It's just braced up, so however the car drove is how it drove. So I tried calling dude here a little bit ago and he didn't answer and hasn't called me back yet. But by the time y'all see this, it'll be gone. And yeah, we'll get this gear lube in here. Letting the silicone set up a little bit before we put it in there. You gotta put the lube on it, right, before you put it in? Oh shit. Well, all right, y'all. Bankroll 10, bed it up. That's basically it. Wheels are all over here. My son wipes his car down. He's actually caring about it again. Halfway care about it. He says he wants to take the big block from there and put it in here. I think that's too much motor for him. I don't think he can handle it.
I don't know, I handle block, I can Christian.
The Malibu. The Malibu. Look, this car's like a pearl white, but it doesn't look like it's pearl white anymore. It looks like it's a dirt white. All right, y'all. Bankroll 10, bed it up. Pro Charge Regal. Illinois, out. What up? What up? What up? Bankroll 10, bedded up. Up in the shop. I took the weekend off. I'm back on the Landau. So, as y'all can see, I got them coilovers up on there. Hope it just doesn't pick up the music in the background, but anyways. So, got the coilovers up in there, got the anti-roll up in there. It's all welded up. Coilovers are on there. Of course, that's just a mock-up lug nut to hold that, because the nuts that go on here have the nylon in them, so you don't want to be running them on, off, on, off, on, off. So lug nut, 1/2 inch by 20, boom, snugs it up. This bolt right here, you know, that's a nylon. It's a lock nut. You don't need to be running it back and forth, on, off. Painted where I had the grind marks on here, and painted the bolts a little bit. Clean that up. But yeah, I'm getting ready to put the center back in it. I got to turn the compressor on and blow out the whole housing. So I'll blow the axle tubes in here to the center, do the other side, boom, and then get inside here, blow this, and then go through and make sure, you know, clean all that shit out of there. I got the gear lube here. I got the silicone for the pan. I'll take the grinder, run the grinder across this, so that way it puts a grooved surface, a clean grooved surface on there. So when I'll do the same thing to the pan, the cover, whatever the hell it's at. I think it's sitting on the table over there. Do the same thing to the cover side. So when the silicone gets in there, it gets in a groove and it locks in, so that way you'll never see them leak. I do not use gaskets. Excuse me. I do not use gaskets. Every time gaskets are used in any car that comes in and a gasket's on there, the rear ends are always leaking. I don't use a gasket. The silicone says right on it, gasket maker. So as long as you clean this side, you don't want it to smooth. With the paint on there, it's smooth. Then the cover being smooth. If it's smooth on both sides, it's got nothing to stick to. Just like painting a car. Yeah, you know, you have that white grooves in the car from wet sanding the primer or sand or whatever, and the paint and the primer gets in there and sticks. So anyways, both sides all ground up, and when you put the silicone on there and you set it, pull it back a little bit, set it so it gets real gooey inside there, then go around and snug it up. Allergies kick my ass still. Anyways, so I'll get that cleaned out, get the center section in there, tighten up the anti-roll, tighten up stuff. The top's tight up there, it's just that's not tight yet. Tighten that up. The rear end is center right there. Obviously, you gotta have the rear end center to set all that. Pinion angle. There's a good pinion angle. If it's got to come down a pinch more, it can come down a pinch more. It did end up a little close here, but that's fine. Where this is at right now, the car I think is like 2 inches at tuck, so it'll go down another 2 inches just from the shock squishing, you know. So it's gonna be tucked pretty hard, which is good shit. I'm bracing all up in there. So slowly but surely, trying to get this one done. I'll get the brakes on there, backing plates are on there, so my box is Audis. Of course, we got the calipers, red calipers. I'll get all that on there. Got all the hardware, got the rotors. Twist this front end up some more so I can set it down. Still gotta take the fender braces and move them, and take that 110 mil out that I keep talking about. That's right up in the fender right there. It's a 10 mil bolt. Take that out there so that way you can pull the fenders a little bit and you don't crease the fender. If you leave that bolt in there, it creases the fender right there. And if you guys look at all the cars out there, you'll see there's plenty of cars out there with the fenders creased. Tow truck just pulled up over there with a Chevelle on it. I wonder if it's buff Chevelle. We'll see. Put a little paint on the drive shaft. Ran out of paint. I had it all scuffed up, scuff pad. You can see scuffed up. But I ran out of paint, so I got some other paint to put on there. So tonight, I'll be able to set this bitch down on the ground. Like I said, this chrome's been changed before, why it's sticking down that far. I don't know, but you can see the angle to it there. Whatever. But, yep, I'll be able to have this thing set down tonight and get another video tomorrow. Tomorrow I got some shit I gotta do in the morning. But yeah, man, that music is pretty loud. It's echoing like an amphitheater, you know. It's inside the detail shop over there, but coming this way, so hopefully I'm not wasting this video by it picking up that sound. Who knows? Fuck it. Well, I guess this will be a short video because it's only about this car. I got nothing else going on. I mean, there's some other shit that's out there that, you know, motherfuckers just can't stop talking shit. You know, you have a conversation with somebody and they turn around and twist things around and go tell somebody. So they're going and telling, but then they're saying that I'm telling. But they're the ones that go and they tell, and they switch the story around saying that I said that somebody's car and this and that was sold for some price. And I was talking about a car about 11, 12 fucking years ago. And then they thought I was talking about the previous car because the car was a Cutlass, a blue Cutlass. And the new car is a maroon Cutlass. So they switched the whole story around and they got all this other shit going on, and then want to put my name in all this fucking bullshit on IG, talking shit. I mean, what the fuck is the deal? Why can't motherfuckers just stop running their fucking mouths? Worry about getting money, worry about your fucking life, your kids, shit like that. Don't worry about me and what the fuck I got going on. We were having a conversation about cars. It was a conversation about cars. And about a car that I could have bought years ago, but I didn't know the price was that cheap. And if it had been offered to me, I would have bought the fucking car. But it turned around and got sold to somebody else, and then it went to Texas and this and that, and blah, blah. So I know y'all be watching my videos. So why y'all gotta keep running your fucking mouths when you don't even know what the truth is? Why the fuck would I say the maroon car for $4 grand? It doesn't even make sense. Common sense is a motherfucker these days. The car's worth way more than that. The car's a badass car. Why would I say you would sell the car for $4,000? The maroon car. Why? Makes no fucking sense. And then to have other motherfuckers run their mouths and talk shit. I mean, I don't get it. These people these days, the past is in the fucking past. Everybody needs to just fuck off, period. I don't give a fuck. You ain't making me no money. But anyways, to the real ones, I'm in here working every day, dealing with so much unnecessary bullshit, man. And it's always the ones that don't pay, that didn't pay. Anyways, this will get all twisted around too, but whatever. I know everybody's like, leave it alone, which I left it alone. I left the IG shit alone, whatever. They want to say stupid shit, let them say stupid shit. Shit ain't fucking, ain't hurting me, ain't hurting my pockets. Bringing up all kinds of other shit, how many shops I've had, this and that. Yeah, I've been in different shops. You get bored of shops. There's shops that you end up with problems with the neighbors, and you turn around and you get the hell out of there, or the neighbors have you kicked out, or the neighbors run their mouths because they're fucking crybabies. There's so much shit back and forth, or you just need more space, or maybe you need less space. Who gives a shit how many fucking shops I've had? Who cares? Anyways. All right, y'all. Bankroll 10 better up. I'm trying to stay in the back corner of the shop here so I don't pick up that damn music. Normally, if I go over there and ask him, he'll cut it off while I'm making a video, but it's all good. You see the money out there shining. I had to clean it up a little bit. It got dirty. They're doing a lot of construction around the back side of the building. There's a big-ass housing development going in. And some of these days out here, to just be all dirt all through the air, so the cars would be getting covered with dirt and shit, like, you know, dirt. Like in here, I'd be having the rust, dust, and shit like that, but you can see this one's been wiped off. Now with the wax on it, some of it will blow right off. But yeah. So yeah, lined out. 28s. I'm surprised my phone is actually still recording because it's been telling me that I'm out of storage. This is, like I said, a 128 gig or some shit. Now I gotta go see if I can get the fucking 256 or whatever that is. But yeah, all right, you guys. Bankroll 10 bettered up. Short video. I'm trying to keep it longer, but I can't keep it longer. But I'll get another one going and show you guys with this thing sitting down on the ground before it's totally done. All right, y'all. Bankroll 10 bettered up. I'm out.